Hey there, let's start with another topic of biomolecules in our Audible NCRT series, polysaccharides. Polysaccharides contain a large number of monosaccharide units joined together by glycosidic linkage. So it contains a large number of monosaccharide units. These monosaccharide units are together linked by glycosidic linkages. The bond between sugar and sugar is a glycosidic bond. These are the most commonly encountered carbohydrates in nature. Most commonly encountered carbohydrates in nature. Option 1 monosaccharides, option 2 disaccharides, option 3 trisaccharide, option 4 polysaccharides. So the answer should be polysaccharides. Polysaccharides. Polysaccharides are the Polysaccharides are the most encountered carbohydrates in nature. They mainly act as the food storage or structural materials. They mainly act as food storage, or they can also act as structural materials. Starch. Starch is the main storage polysaccharide of plants. Plants' main storage polysaccharide is starch. It is the most important dietary source for human beings. For human beings, starch is the most important dietary source. High content of starch is found in cereals, roots, tubers, and some vegetables. Cereals, roots, tubers, and some vegetables have high content of starch. Have high content of starch. Cereals, roots, tubers, and some vegetables. They have high content of starch. Potato tubers, high content of starch. Vegetables, cereals, high content of starch. It is a polymer of alpha glucose. So starch is a polymer of alpha glucose. Which glucose? Beta? No, alpha glucose. Starch is a polymer of alpha glucose and consists of two components. One is amylose and amylopectin. So starch is a polymer of alpha glucose. Which glucose? Alpha glucose. It consists of two components, amylose and amylopectin. Amylose is water soluble. Amylose is water soluble component which constitutes about 15 to 20% of starch. Amylose part is water soluble. This water soluble or insoluble? Soluble. Water soluble component which constitutes about 15 to 20% of starch. It consists of how much of the starch? Only 15 to 20%. Chemically, amylose is a long unbranched chain. Branched or unbranched? Unbranched. Amylose is unbranched. It is water soluble, it is unbranched, and it is water soluble. It's a long chain. Short chain, long chain, unbranched chain. It will constitute how much? 15 to 20% of starch. Small percent only, no? A long unbranched chain with 200 to 1000 alpha D plus glucose units held together by C1C4 glycosidic linkages. So chemically, amylose is long unbranched chain with 200 to 1000 alpha D glucose units held together by C1C4 glycosidic linkage. Amylopectin is insoluble in water. It is insoluble because it is branched. It's insoluble in water and constitutes about 80 to 85% of starch. It constitutes about 80 to 85% of starch. Amylopectin is insoluble in water and constitutes about 80 to 85% of starch. Major part is amylopectin. Amylopectin, its name is big and it is contributing more to the structure of starch, 80 to 85%. As amylose is small name, 15 to 20%. It's unbranched. Whereas amylose is a branched chain amylopectin is a branched chain polymer. Amylose unbranched. Amylopectin branched chain polymer of alpha D glucose units in which chain is formed by C1C4 glycosidic linkage, whereas branching occurs by C1C6 glycosidic linkage. Chain C1C4, branching C1C6. C1C6 is involved in branching and C1C4 are involved in chain formation. C1C4 branching C1C6. You can check in the diagram. So amylose is a linear one. It is unbranched. It is having C1C4 glycosidic linkage. It contributes 15 to 20% of starch. It is insoluble in water Amylose is soluble in water. Myelopectin is soluble in water. It constitutes about 80 to 85% of starch. It is branched and it is having alpha D unit, in which C1 C4 forms a chain, and C1 C6 form branching. Now let's talk about cellulose. Cellulose occurs exclusively in plants. Cellulose is not found in animals, not found in fungi. It is exclusively found in plants, not in bacteria. It is exclusively plant characteristic, and it is the most abundant organic substance in plant kingdom. And it is most abundant organic substance in plant kingdom. Most abundant organic substance in plant kingdom is cellulose. Most abundant organic substance. In the previous one also we have seen cellulose is the most abundant organic substance in plant kingdom. It is a predominant constituent of cell wall of plants. Cell wall of plants predominant. Let's see, cellulose is a straight chain polysaccharide. It's a polysaccharide, but it is a straight chain, not branched. Straight chain, composed of only beta D glucose. Let's see with what units it is from. It is beta D glucose units, which are joined by glycosidic linkages C1 of one glucose unit and C4 of the next glucose. C1 C4 linkage is there, but it is beta D glucose. Starch is amylose and myelopectin. Two components are there. Both are made up of alpha glucose. Amylose is unbranched and amylopectin is branched. Talking about glycogen, the carbohydrates are stored in animal body as glycogen. The carbohydrates are stored in animal body as glycogen. The carbohydrate is stored in animal body as glycogen. The carbohydrates are stored in animal body as what? As glycogen. The carbohydrates are stored in animal body as glycogen. Starch is stored in plant body. Starch is stored in plant body. Glycogen is stored in animal body. It is also known as animal starch because its structure is similar to amylopectin and is rather more highly branched. It is present in liver. There is glycogen present in liver, muscles, and brain. When the body needs glucose, enzymes break the glycogen down to glucose. Glycogen is also found in yeast and fungi. You can find it in yeast and fungi, whereas starch is found in plants. Cellulose is exclusively found in plants. Amylopectin is highly branched. Why it is called animal starch? Because its structure is similar to amylopectin. Where amylopectin is found in human body, liver, muscles, brain. So when the body needs glucose, enzymes break the glycogen down to glucose. Glycogen is also found in yeast and fungi. Let's talk about importance of carbohydrates. A small topic. Carbohydrates are essential for life in both plants and animals. They form a major portion of our food. The major portion is carbohydrates. Honey has been used for a long time as an instant source of energy by Veds in Ayurvedic system of medicine. Honey is instant source of energy because it consists of glucose and fructose. As you can see in NCERT, in glucose part also they have given honey, and in fructose part also they have given honey. So honey is found in both glucose and fructose. Carbohydrates are used as storage molecules. Carbohydrate is used as storage molecules as starch in plants and glycogen in animals. Carbohydrates are used as storage molecules as starch in plants and glycogen in animals. Carbohydrates are used as storage molecules as a starch in plants and glycogen in animals. नहीं. Carbohydrates are used as storage molecules as a starch in plants and glycogen in animals. Carbohydrates are used as storage molecules as a starch. Carbohydrates are used as storage molecules as a starch. Carbohydrates are used as storage molecules as a starch in plants and glycogen in animals. Glycogen in animals is also called animal starch because it is more similar to amylopectin in plants, and amylopectin in animals is highly branched. Cell wall of bacteria in plants is made up of cellulose. Cell wall of bacteria in plants are made up of cellulose. We build furniture, etc., from cellulose in the form of wood, and clothe ourselves with cellulose in the form of cotton fiber. Cotton fiber is a rich source of cellulose, and wood also have cellulose. They provide raw materials for many important industries like textiles, paper industry, lacquers, and breweries. Two aldopentoses with D-ribose, capital D-ribose, and 2-deoxy, capital D-ribose are present in nucleic acids. These are present in nucleic acid. We will learn in section 14.5.1 in this chapter of class 12th. Carbohydrates are found in biosystem in combination with many proteins and lipids. Carbohydrates are found in biosystem in combination with many proteins and lipids. So in text question is given glucose or sucrose are soluble in water, but cyclohexane and benzene, simple 6-membered ring compound, are insoluble in water. What is saying that glucose or sucrose, they both are soluble in water. They both are soluble in water. They both are soluble in water, but cyclohexane or benzene, simple 6-membered ring compounds, are insoluble in water. So you have to explain this. So in the next video I will keep the solutions for these questions, most probably. Next question: what are the expected products of hydrolysis of lactose? Lactose on hydrolysis, it gives two products. One is it gives two things. Both are like one is galactose, another is glucose. Galactose, beta capital D galactose, and beta capital D glucose. How do you explain the absence of aldehyde group in pentacetate of D-glucose? See, because the pentacetate group, this pentacetate group is the pentacetate group is not reacting with this pentacetate group do not react with hydroxylamine. It is not reacting with hydroxylamine, so we can say free CHO group is absent, free aldehyde group is absent. It is not reactive with the hydroxylamine. Thank you so much. So in next video we can discuss about proteins. So thank you so much. Till then, subscribe to my channel. Consider subscribing my channel, hit the like button and share with your friends. This audible series, audible NCRT series, what do you think about it? Please put your views on the comment section. I will definitely go through it and try to improve my videos. Thank you so much for your time.